058111.
058111.
You have to hold it? Thank you for taking my question. I want to build on the question about Medicaid in the budget resolution that you voted for. $880 billion is targeted to be cut in 10 years from mandatory spending of the House Committee on Energy and Commerce. The total projected outlay of that committee, as per the Congressional Budget Office, is $8.8 trillion. If you back out Medicaid, the balance outlay is $581 billion. If you back out Medicaid, CHIP, which I'm sure you know is children's health insurance, as well as the budget neutral items, the balance is $135 billion. Where are you going to find $880 billion other than from Medicaid?
Okay. So, when it comes to budget reconciliation, it is the Senate number that governs, not the House number. The Senate number that they passed just 2 weeks ago was $4 billion total. $4 billion total across the entirety of the government. Not $1.5 trillion, $4 billion. The objective to me has always been, you have to find 218 votes. And I can tell you right now, there will not be 218 votes to cut Medicaid to eligible recipients, period. There is a whole group of us that, going back to last year, and then in January, we made it very clear to leadership. I met with the president at the White House with a group of about 20. We made it clear to the president. The president actually agreed with us about not wanting to cut Medicaid. The issue is getting a budget resolution, which was the first step in the reconciliation process, passed. That's what we did. We passed a budget resolution that has a framework. As far as I'm concerned, that is as good as the paper it was written on. The issue is the actual reconciliation bill. That is the bill that matters. That is the one that will determine what, if any, changes there are to any spending. And the question will be, can you get to 218 votes? I've been very clear. I will not support a reconciliation bill that cuts Medicaid benefits to eligible recipients, and I will not support a reconciliation bill that does not lift the cap on salt, period. I will vote no if it does either of those things.
Ma'am, we said no yelling out. Can you please?
The states run the Medicaid program.
Okay, the number is 439188. 439188.
Thank you for taking my question. I want to follow up on some other things that have been said, and I ask that people let me finish, please, and that you answer my question. On Friday, this administration deported 3 children, ages 2, 4, and 7, who are U.S. citizens. The 4-year-old with a rare form of metastatic cancer receiving treatment and deported, without medication, and all without consultation with their families, attorneys, or physician. All of the families were complying with law, a routine check-in, only to be detained and then deported. These continuing illegal actions by the administration cannot be tolerated by Congress, but you said you are not concerned with authoritarianism since there are 3 equal branches of government on the Brian Lawler show on Friday when I heard you. You're consistently seen as a bipartisan member of Congress, but your actions speak louder than your words. When will you uphold and adhere to the Constitution? Where is your line on all of these illegal actions? Do you want to be known? Hold on. Do you want to be known? Do you want to be known as Mike Lawler or Mike?
So I said the other day when I was on CNN, actually, when the Supreme Court ruling came out, 9-0 against the administration with respect to the deportation of Mr. Abrego Garcia, and I said that the administration should abide by the Supreme Court ruling, period. If as co-equal branches of government, okay, it's not superior, it's not the executive above the legislature, or folks, let me explain, please. It's not one branch above the other. We are all co-equal. And what has happened over many administrations is executive power has become condensed in the executive. And I fundamentally believe both Congress and the judiciary have to reassert their rightful powers. So with respect to,
Okay,
with
everybody.
respect to the deportation of U.S. citizens, that should not happen. They should be immediately returned, and the administration should facilitate their return. Now, as the Supreme Court ruled on the case of Mr. Abrego Garcia, they said there was a court order prohibiting his deportation to El Salvador, despite him being an El Salvador national. And they said that he should not have been. And I agree with that because you had a court order. They also said that the administration should facilitate his return and go through the deportation process. And that's exactly what they should do. They should follow the administrative law. They should follow the court orders, period. I fundamentally believe that. And obviously, the courts are going to weigh in again here. And what you will have, if the administration does not facilitate the return of both either a U.S. citizen or, in the case of Mr. Abrego Garcia, you will have the courts take significant action holding numerous people in contempt. And that will happen if they do not abide by the court ruling. And so they should.
Okay, sir.
I have, and I just did again in front of you.
Congressman, would you like to talk? Excuse me,
I
everyone.
would just keep going with questions.
Okay.
Just keep going with questions. I said they should be returned. I just said that.
Okay.
If you take the opportunity to listen instead of yelling, you might actually hear the answer you want to hear.